Welcome, everyone, to a monumental update in the world of professional tennis. The city of Berlin is absolutely buzzing today, and if you've been paying any attention to the sweeping currents of the grass court season, you already know exactly why. A shockwave has just rippled through the prestigious grounds of the Berlin Open, and it carries the name of one of the most electrifying young talents in the sport today. Berlin is stunned, and the star-powered entrance of 21-year-old Philippine sensation Alex Eala has absolutely everyone talking. This is not just another routine tournament update. This is the unfolding of a compelling narrative that has captivated the global tennis community. Just days ago, the landscape of the Women's Tennis Association 500 event in the German capital seemed set in stone, a predictable gauntlet featuring the most dominant heavyweights in the world. But then came the announcement that shifted the entire dynamic of the tournament. Alex Eala, who was originally slated to battle her way through the grueling qualifying rounds, has been granted a highly coveted main draw wildcard. The tournament organizers essentially upgraded her status overnight, laying out the red carpet for a player whose recent trajectory has been nothing short of a roller coaster of spectacular triumphs and grueling learning curves. The social media pages of the Berlin Open lit up, officially welcoming her to an extraordinarily stacked field that runs from June 15th to the 21st. To understand the sheer magnitude of this moment, we have to look at the atmosphere in Berlin right now. The tournament is a traditional proving ground, a historic battleground where the queens of the grass court fine-tune their arsenals before descending upon London for Wimbledon. This year, the entry list reads like an absolute who's who of tennis royalty. We are talking about the undisputed giants of the modern era. World number one Aryna Sabalenka is there, bringing her blistering baseline power. You have the formidable Elena Rybakina, a former Wimbledon champion, whose serve on grass is an absolute nightmare to return. Then you have American superstars like Coco Gauff and Jessica Pegula, alongside names like Elena Svitolina and Karolina Machova. Into this absolute shark tank steps Alex Eala, armed with a wild card and a point to prove. The anticipation surrounding her arrival is palpable, not just because she is a rising star, but because of the sheer drama that has characterized her last few weeks on the grass. Just days prior to this grand entrance in Berlin, Eala experienced the highest of highs and a very sobering low, encapsulating the volatile nature of professional tennis. She arrived in the United Kingdom riding an incredible wave of momentum, having just conquered the Birmingham Classic. That was a phenomenal achievement, securing her second WTA Challenger title in a gritty, hard-fought final against the Czech Republic's Nikola Bartunkova. Eala showcased remarkable resilience in that match, breaking a long-standing drought against Czech opponents and proving that her game translates beautifully to the slick, fast nature of grass courts. The tennis world took notice. Here was a graduate of the Rafael Nadal Academy bringing aggressive, intelligent tennis to the surface that demands it most. However, the euphoria of Birmingham was quickly followed by a harsh reality check at the Queen's Club Championships in London. Stepping onto the court against a highly touted American youngster, 19-year-old Iva Jovic, Eala struggled to find a rhythm that had just crowned her a champion. She suffered a straight sets defeat in the round of 16, a match characterized by an uncharacteristic string of unforced errors and an inability to penetrate Jovic's rock-solid baseline defense. It was a stark reminder of the grueling physical and mental toll that back-to-back tournaments take on a player, especially during the frantic transition period of the grass court swing. Eala looked fatigued, her timing slightly off, her usual lethal accuracy blunted by the relentless pace. Yet, this is precisely why her sudden elevation into the Berlin main draw is dominating the headlines today. In the immediate aftermath of that disappointing London exit, questions began to swirl. How would she recover? Would her confidence be shaken just weeks before Wimbledon? The Berlin wild card changes the entire calculus. It serves as a massive vote of confidence from the international tennis establishment. The tournament directors in Berlin looked at her Birmingham title, looked at her immense potential, and decided that she belongs on the main stage right from day one. They recognize that her presence elevates the intrigue of the tournament. This wild card is a golden ticket, a chance for redemption, and an opportunity to test her mettle against the very best in the world without the exhausting preamble of the qualifying rounds. It allows her precious days to rest, to recalibrate, and to mentally prepare for the staggering level of competition that awaits her in Germany. and the tennis public is completely eating it up. Fans in the Philippines are mobilizing in massive numbers online, expressing their immense pride and excitement. European tennis analysts are breaking down her potential matchups, wondering if her aggressive forehand and improved court coverage can upset the established top 10 players. The buzz is not just about a wild card. It is about the arrival of a player who represents the future. Alex Eala is shouldering the hopes of a nation that historically has not had a consistent presence in the upper echelons of professional singles tennis. Every time she steps onto the court, she is writing history. Her journey from a young prodigy to a WDA champion and now a featured star in a WDA 500 event is a testament to her grueling work ethic and unyielding ambition. The German fans are known for their deep appreciation of tactical, high IQ tennis, and Eala brings exactly that to the table. As she packs her bags and heads to Berlin, the spotlight has never been brighter. She is no longer just flying under the radar. She is the talk of the town, the wild card that could disrupt the entire draw. This sets the stage for what promises to be an unforgettable week of tennis. Will she bounce back from the Queen's Club defeat and rediscover her championship form? Can she stand toe-to-toe with the likes of Sabalenka or Rybakina on a surface that amplifies power and precision? The questions are swirling. The stakes are astronomical, and the entire tennis world is watching with bated breath. Let us transition now into a comprehensive deep dive analysis of what this all means for Alex Eala, her game, and her overarching trajectory as we march toward the third Grand Slam of the year. To fully grasp the significance of her entry into Berlin Open, we have to meticulously unpack the mechanics of her game on grass and the strategic masterclass she has been putting on, juxtaposed with the vulnerabilities that were exposed in London. Grass is widely considered the most specialized and unforgiving surface in tennis. The ball stays incredibly low. It skids rapidly off the turf, and the margin for error is razor thin. It heavily favors players with massive serves, aggressive first strike tennis, and an aptitude for quick, reflexive volleys at the net. Traditionally, players raised on clay or hard courts take years to decipher the nuances of grass. Yet, Alex Eala has consistently demonstrated that she has a natural affinity for this surface. Her triumph in Birmingham was not a fluke. It was a result of a highly sophisticated tactical approach. Against Nikola Bardonkova, Eala utilized her exceptional movement to stay low, taking the ball astonishingly early to rob her opponent of recovery time. Her forehand, which has always been a potent weapon, was incredibly flat and penetrating, skidding through the court and forcing errors. But what truly stood out during her Birmingham run was her mental fortitude. She lost the first set to Bardonkova before clawing her way back to win in 3 grueling sets. That resilience is the hallmark of a champion. It shows an ability to adapt mid-match, to troubleshoot problems under immense pressure, and to refuse to capitulate when the momentum is completely against her. This mental toughness is undoubtedly a product of her rigorous training at the Rafael Nadal Academy in Mallorca, Spain. Growing up under the tutelage of coaches who emphasize relentless effort, tactical discipline, and absolute psychological resilience has forged Eala into a fierce competitor who is never truly out of a match. However, the subsequent loss to Iva Jovic at the Queen's Club Championships provided a crucial reality check and a masterclass in the physical demands of the tour. Jovic, despite being younger, played a brilliantly tactical match. She recognized that Eala was coming off a physically draining week and executed a game plan designed to test Eala's endurance. Jovic employed an impenetrable baseline game, returning everything with depth and pace, refusing to give Eala any easy putaways. The Filipina star, visibly fatigued, began to press. She tried to end points too quickly, going for lines when safer margins were required, resulting in a barrage of unforced errors. Her footwork, usually so crisp, was just a fraction of a second slow, which on grass is the difference between a clean winner and a framed error into the stands. This context is vital when analyzing her wildcard entry in Berlin. The early exit in London, while disappointing, might actually be a blessing in disguise. If she had gone deep at the Queen's Club, she would have arrived in Berlin physically depleted, facing top-tier opponents on empty reserves. Now, she has had the necessary time to rest, to let her body recover from the punishing schedule, and to mentally reset. The wild card means she bypasses the grueling qualifying rounds, saving her legs for the main draw where she will absolutely need every ounce of energy. Looking at the Berlin Open draw, Eala is stepping into a highly combustible environment. The field is saturated with Grand Slam champions and top 10 mainstays. Players like Aryna Sabalenka and Elena Rybakina hit the ball with ferocity that Eala rarely encounters on the challenger circuit. To survive and advance in Berlin, Eala will have to elevate her game to a level she has never reached before. She must significantly improve her first serve percentage. On grass, against elite returners, a weak second serve is instantly punished. She needs to dictate points from the very first strike, using her serve to set up her devastating forehand. Furthermore, she will need to be aggressive in returning, neutralizing the sheer power of the top seeds by taking the ball early and stepping inside the baseline. Beyond Berlin, the strategic brilliance of her schedule continues to unfold. Following the Berlin Open, Eala is set to travel to the Bad Homburg Open, also in Germany. And this is where the narrative takes another fascinating turn. In Bad Homburg, she is scheduled to team up in doubles with none other than the legendary Venus Williams. This partnership is a massive coup for Eala's development. Venus Williams is a 5-time Wimbledon singles champion and one of the greatest grass court players in the history of the sport. The wealth of knowledge, the tactical insights, and the sheer experience that Venus can impart to a young player like Eala are absolutely invaluable. Playing doubles on grass requires lightning-fast reflexes, supreme volleying skills, and profound understanding of court positioning. Sharing the court with a mastermind like Venus will accelerate Eala's understanding of these crucial elements. It is an apprenticeship on the biggest stage. Eala will learn how a true legend prepares, how she analyzes opponents, and how she maintains composure in high-stakes situations. This mentorship could be the catalyst that unlocks a new dimension in Eala's game, transitioning her from a rising star to a legitimate threat on the main tour. All of these events, the Birmingham victory, the London setback, the Berlin wildcard, and the upcoming partnership with Venus Williams, are meticulously calculated steps on the road to the ultimate prize, the Wimbledon Championships. Wimbledon is a holy grail of tennis, and the grass court swing is entirely about peaking for those 2 magical weeks in London starting in late June. Eala's schedule is brutally demanding, but it is exactly what is required to build the physical stamina and mental callousness necessary to navigate the treacherous waters of a Grand Slam tournament. By testing herself against the absolute best in Berlin and absorbing the wisdom of a legend in Bad Homburg, she is arming herself with the tools needed to make a deep, historic run at the All-England Club. As we wrap up this extensive look at the whirlwind surrounding Alex Eala, it is impossible to overstate the broader cultural and historical implications of her journey. We are witnessing the real-time evolution of a generational talent who is carrying the flag for Philippine tennis onto stages where it has rarely been seen before. The excitement radiating from Berlin is just a microcosm of the immense pride felt by millions of fans back home and around the globe. Every forehand she strikes, every match she wins, and even every grueling loss she endures is a building block and a legacy that is already inspiring the next generation of athletes in Southeast Asia. The narrative of professional tennis is driven by the emergence of new stars who challenge the established order, and Alex Eala is firmly positioning herself as the next great disruptor. Her star-powered entrance into Berlin Open is not merely a stroke of luck or a generous gift from the organizers. It is a hard-earned recognition of her undeniable talent, her recent championship pedigree on the grass, and the sheer box office appeal she brings to the sport. The tennis world is incredibly perceptive, and they know that when Eala is on the court, you are guaranteed a display of relentless hustle, tactical brilliance, and an absolute refusal to back down. As the tournament in Berlin commences, the spotlight will be blinding and the pressure will be immense. But if we have learned anything from her career thus far, it is that Alexandra Eala thrives in the crucible of competition. Whether she draws a formidable top seed or another hungry rising star in the first round, she will step onto the historic German lawns completely fearless. She has a game to stun the titans of the sport. She has the mental fortitude forged in the fires of the Nadal Academy, and soon she will have the legendary wisdom of Venus Williams whispering in her ear. The road to Wimbledon is paved with spectacular triumphs and agonizing lessons, and Eala is walking it with incredible grace and terrifying power. The stunning news of her Berlin Wildcard is just the opening chapter of what promises to be a thrilling, dramatic, and potentially historic grass court season. We will be watching every single point, analyzing every tactical shift, and witnessing the continued rise of a phenomenal athlete. Thank you for joining me for this deep dive into the extraordinary world of Alex Eala. The stage is set, the players are ready, and the whole world is watching to see what this remarkable young woman will do next.